stopping because I don't know what's going on here.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest video where I'm going to be working on this. This is a 1980s record player cabinet, hi-fi cabinet if you will. It's got a lift up top. It's made from MDF with a mahogany veneer, and I'm going to be doing something on this that I've never ever tried before. It is for a customer, so I have explained that I'll do my best to do what she's asking me to do, but I have got a plan B. I'm hoping I don't have to use the plan B, but the plan A is to try and transform this from the dark red mahogany to more of a light oak colour. I'm not going to be re-veneering it, it's just not cost effective to do that. I'm going to be trying something using this product. It's a 2-part specific wood bleach for wood, obviously because it's a wood bleach. It's not household bleach, it's totally different. I've never used it, so I'm going to try that on this. Like I say, I do have a plan B, but I'm hoping not to use it. So wish me luck. I've never done it. Sit back, relax and enjoy this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this and other restorations. And if you like it, please hit the thumbs up button. And as always, thanks for watching. At this point, usually, I'd take you for a little tour around it to show you all the damage, all the issues with it, what needs to be done. I've sort of said what we're going to do with this in the intro. We're going to change the look of it completely. It's not in a terrible condition, it's in a good condition. However, the customer doesn't use it at the moment because it doesn't go with any of her other furniture, but she loves listening to her music. She wants it in her main room so she can have her record player in here and listen to her music. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So the first thing we need to do is take the bits off that we can take off and have another look at it. I could do with taking the glass out really, just so I don't damage it, and I think I've worked on a million pieces and the glass is a nightmare to get out, but looking at this, it looks like it might be straightforward. Just start at the start, not damaging it. Go. I'll tell you what, I wish all glass was as easy as that, because it's not. Put that somewhere safe. Right, so this is the door obviously, and as you can see there, that's unfinished MDF. So this is my first problem. I'm hoping, and I need to investigate further. These flat panels are veneered MDF. You can see the wood grain. So 99% certain that's veneer. These shaped edges are not. These are just pure MDF that's been shaped and stained to match the colour. So the wood bleach thing is not going to do anything really to these edges and this rebate here, because that is just MDF. So I'm going to have to do something different with that. I think I know what I'm going to do, but obviously I'm going to treat the wood grain in the same way that I'd treat solid wood. I suspect it's really thin, this veneer, so I need to be very careful when getting it down to the bare wood. So that's what I'll start with now, just doing a few checks to see what's under this finish. This is a factory finish, so it's a really hard, probably lacquer. So scraping this off I don't think is going to be an option because it's not failing at all, it's solid as a rock, so I'm probably going to have to strip this. I'm going to start on the top first rather than the door. There is a method behind my madness. Okay. I suspect this will need another coat of stripper, but we'll see. Yeah, it's really thick. This finish is really thick. This is really stubborn, this, so I'm going to just try something. I've just tried a little patch and it seems to work, so we'll put that on. And this is acetone. To sit on there for a couple of seconds, maybe a minute. And see if that helps soften that finish. There we go. That's more like it. That's definitely the way forward. Right, so that's step one of the process, getting the finish off. Obviously it's still mahogany and it's still very red, so we're not just going to leave it at that. So I need to do that with the rest of the piece now. This is the door. It might sound a bit odd, I've got my respirator on. This stuff stinks. Before I start stripping this, I've got a bit, not a dilemma, I think I know what I'm going to do, but this shelf here is actually doweled and glued in to these sides. There's no fixings on the sides, so I'll have to break this apart in order to set this shelf off and strip all the inside of this. So what I'm going to do is, there's going to be elements on this piece where the MDF is exposed and there's no grain, no veneer, where I'm going to have to use, I think I'm going to have to use like a complementary coloured paint. So what I'm thinking is, this is going to be an absolute nightmare to try and get all down to the bare wood and actually use the wood bleach on it. So what I'm proposing to do, because obviously you're going to be able to see this through the smoked glass front, that bit's covered up when the door's shut, but you'll be able to see that. It will be filled with a stereo unit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish the bottoms and try and get the wood grain back on that, and then what I'm going to do is, I think for the rest of them, the sides and the top of this, I'm going to do something different. So as you see me stripping this, you'll probably understand why I'm not stripping certain parts of it. So
that's what I'm going to do. I think that's the best option. Right, so this is what it looks like when I've got all the finish off it and some of the stain with the acetone. Just be aware that I've got an extractor going and an air purifier, I've got the doors open, I've got a fan going and I've got a respirator. I wouldn't advise doing this in a small space, and I'd do it outside still with a respirator. Anyway, it's done, it looks terrible. And you've just got to trust the process. It looks like this a lot when you're doing a restoration or refinishing something, but you know, just have the confidence that it will look okay in the end. So that's where we are at the moment. I just need to clean this down a little bit and then we can get on with the next step. I'm just going to give it a sand over with 240 grit, so light sanding, just to clean it up a little bit. Make sure there's none of that finish left on, any little bits of that finish, because the wood dye needs the finish to be completely gone. So 240 grit and then we'll go from there. Right, I've had a good read of the instructions for this and it seems fairly straightforward. I actually thought you mixed these two together and applied it in one go. You don't. What you do is you use part A, which I've marked up on this container. You put that on, you leave it for 15 to 20 minutes and you then apply the part B separately. You then leave that for 2 hours and then you can have a look at it and then see if it needs another application. If it needs another application, you just do the same process again. Type A, type B. Once you've done your final one, you leave it for another 2 hours and then you rinse it off with clean water. So it seems quite straightforward, time consuming, but quite straightforward. So we'll give this a go. It is caustic, so you do need to wear gloves. I don't know what it's going to do to the MDF, it's just this grain I'm really interested in. Okay, I'll say dead easy. I'll just do the other side and then we can leave that set for 15 or 20 minutes. Right, just need to leave this all for about 15 minutes now. Right, it's had about 17 minutes, so somewhere in the middle. So time for the part B. Right, I'd say trust the process, but I've no idea what this process is going to look like. So at the moment it just looks the same, but hopefully once it's dry there'll be a difference. So I'll go around all the rest of it with part B, and then we'll see where we're at. Right, everything's had part B on it now. It's just a waiting game. It's 2 hours. I just need to make sure also that it doesn't dry out, and if it starts to dry out then I need to add more part A and then part B. So hopefully this just needs one round of this and I don't have to do the whole lot again, because it's just, like I say, it's just really time consuming. There's not a great deal on this piece I can be getting on with while this is drying, so I will find something else to do. Do you want to cork? Hey! Come on, let me get you one. Come on, out. Daisy sit. Good girl. Ready? Steady. Go! Oh, she's a good one. She's a good one. Where's your cork? Where's your cork? Where's your cock? Where is it? Get your cock. Where's your cock? Where's your cock? It's there, you wally. There. Oh, you're cheeky. Right, go. Oh, you got red eyes today. Good girl. Right, let me get on with my work. Right, this is 2 hours later. As you can see, the wood's gone very, very light. But it has got some sort of film on it that. I just need to neutralise this now. The inside I don't think has done as well as the outside. It still looks like it's got a bit of a pink hue to it, that. But I just need to neutralise this now with plenty of clean water, and then leave that to dry. Seems to have taken a lot of the red out of it, but obviously there's still quite a bit in there. So the plan with this stuff is the wood goes white, and once it's neutralised it'll go white again, and then you stain it the colour that you want it. So the plan is to stain it a light oak. I just don't know at the moment whether I'm going to have to give it another round of bleach or not yet, but we'll finish this and see where we get to. The doors seem to have gone a lot browner. A lot of the red's disappeared, which is what was after. Right, leave all that to dry. So the plan is with these now is I'm going to stain it at this point, but I just need to give it a go over all over with 240 grit, just to even out any of the grain that might have raised up. Right, it's time to stain it. I'm going to use this light oak stain, and the plan with this is trying to get away from this pinker tone of the mahogany. I've stripped a lot of the tannins out with the bleach, but I think there's still a bit left, so we shall give this a go. Well, it's definitely gone the brown I wanted, but I think the furniture my customer's got's lighter than this. Right, keep going. It's probably not as light as I wanted it to be, but it is a light oak stain this. Obviously, I think with the bit of the pink in it, it's gone a bit darker and maybe a bit more amber, but you can see the difference. That's after the bleach and the stain, and that's before everything with the old finish on. So you can see that's a lot lighter, a lot browner. That's very red and very dark, so we're getting there. Okay, so this is where we are with the colour now. I really like this colour. I don't know what you think, but it's quite a nice colour. It's more, I wouldn't call this light oak though, it's more of a medium oak. And I know from the photographs the customer sent me, her other furniture's quite a bit lighter than this. This would look okay because it's not exactly going side by side, and it's not red, it's not dark, but I've got one more thing that I can try just to try and bring this a bit lighter. So I'll give that a go now. Right, I've got this. This is actually white stain, and I've used this on an oak piece before, directly onto the oak, and it came out really nice. And it did lighten it up quite a lot. So I'm hoping this is going to do a similar thing. Really odd putting white onto it, but hopefully should give the desired effect. Let's see. There we go. It is pulling through a bit of the brown, which I was hoping it wouldn't, but right. Good stuff. I'll just see how that dries now before I do the rest of it. Should only take about 10 minutes to dry, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to stay like this. Yeah, like that. See the before and the after? Sorry, the before and the after. Now if I hadn't have put the oak stain on there, what it had done, the white would have pulled through the red. There's still a little bit of red in there, so it would have looked more pink. So that's why I did the brown stain before I've done the white stain. Let that completely dry. It is still pulling a little bit of the brown stain through, but nothing too much. So happy with that. It's just given me a dilemma now what to do on the inside of the cabinet, because I was going to paint it just a contrasting colour, because I didn't think this MDF part would stain up very well, but it has. So I'm going to have a think about that. I might be too far down the line now to change my mind, but let's just carry on with this. Right, while the stain's drying, I might as well give this hardware a bit of a clean up. Don't know whether to change the colour of these, or to leave them, just clean them up, but we'll clean them to start with. I'm stopping because I don't know what's going on here. I'm putting the lacquer on and everything's going really patchy, which has never happened before. It's really weird. You can see the difference in the colours. It's had exactly the same treatment, the same veneer, everything. I guess I'm just going to have to wait for it to dry and see how it looks. Because at the moment that looks terrible. Oh. Right, I've left this to dry now and it looks awful. I don't know why this has happened. The only thing I can think is I haven't left the stain long enough to completely dry before I've put the lacquer on, and it's pulled out the brown from under the white. But I don't know. It may be because I've added 2 stains, but I've done that before and it's not been a problem. It looks terrible, I'll show you. You can just see how patchy it is, and it's gone like a yellowy colour. And that's the one below, which is even more patchy. The sides have done okay. I haven't done these sides, but the edge strips seem to be okay. And the back of the door and the top seem to be okay. So I'm not too sure what to do. Because if I start trying to take this lacquer off, all the stain's going to come off. Oh. Or do I just do what I was going to do on the back and the sides, which is to paint the entire inside of it. And let's assume that the stain needs longer to dry, so I'll leave the stain to dry overnight. I don't know. I'll have to have a think. Right, I'm going to try and take it off with a bit of acetone and just see what happens. Whether that affects the stain underneath, I'm not sure, but let's try and take it off. Right, that seems to have helped, and it has taken some of the stain off, but not all of it. I'm going to do the same with that. I might just take it off the front as well, and then leave the stain to completely dry overnight, and hopefully it's that. I might even use a different top coat, I'm not sure. Right, quick update. I've got all the finish off there. I've had to restain it. Now what I've done, I've mixed the 2 stains together. I don't know if you can see that. The white and the light oak, to give me a more consistent finish. I've done it on there, I've done it on the other side, I've done it on the top. I haven't done it on there yet, or there, or the fronts. So I'll do that now and I'll show you the difference. It's a much nicer. It looks awful, but it looks good when it's on. Right, this has dried overnight now, so I'm hoping that issue I had before with the lacquer isn't a recurring issue for some of the reason that I'm not sure of. I think it might be because I hadn't left the stain to dry for long enough. But I'm not going to put lacquer on it just in case there's some sort of reaction happening. It's never happened before, like I say, so I don't know. I'm going to use hard wax oil. This is my favourite, Gilboy's. And if you want to try this, I will leave a discount link in the description of this video. So just give it a stir. Get everything mixed up nicely. That's more like it. I'm happy with that. It's the colour I'm looking for. Obviously the edges are exposed MDF, so they're not going to colour up the same as the grain, but they're a similar tone, which I'm happy about. That's really nice, come up lovely that. I'll just leave that for 20-15 minutes or so and then I'll wipe off any excess. There you go, I was just trying to get the camera to expose it right. That's pretty much the colour, maybe slightly different on camera, but yeah, really pleased with that. Right, it's time to sort out the inside bits, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to paint this. So before anyone comes at me in the comments, as I mentioned, this isn't solid mahogany. I thought the top was before, but it's not. It's MDF with a veneer on it. It's not an antique piece of furniture. It's what the customer wants. She wants it nice and light inside. And I explained before that I couldn't take this to pieces because I'd have ended up damaging it. So it's just more practical to do these parts with a nice light coloured paint. So this has been primed with a shellac primer just to stop any bleed through. So that's where we're going now. The first coat always looks rubbish. Obviously I'm not too bothered about the first coat, coverage wise, it's just an adhesion coat. So I'll just get it on there, probably the thinner the better actually. That'll dry and then the next coats will stick to that. So don't worry that it looks terrible at the minute. Right, so that's the first coat done. Obviously it looks terrible, and it often does, the first coat. But it'll get better with each coat. Probably need 3 coats with this. So I'll let this dry and then we'll go from there. By the way, this colour, I meant to mention, it probably looks white on the camera. It's not white. I've had this in videos before where I had a million comments saying, why did you paint it white? It's not white. It's called Farrow's Cream, and it's a Farrow and Ball colour, and it's like a rich cream colour. Almost like a clotted cream colour, so it'll probably show better when I do the final reveal shots because these lights are just here because they're bright. So yeah, Farrow's Cream. Right, this is 2 coats in now. He's definitely going to need another coat, but it's getting there. It's looking tons better than it was. So I'll let this dry again. 1 more coat should do it, but maybe 2. So I won't film any of that. I'll come back when it's all done. Right, let's try and remember how this went on. That's it. We are getting to the end of this video now, and it's just a case of putting everything back together. So thanks very much for watching, and thanks for all your continued support, especially those that like to buy me a coffee and give me a super thanks. I really appreciate your generosity. It really helps me and Daisy continue on our YouTube channel journey. I hope you've enjoyed it. I guess there's a couple of questions to answer. Was I happy with the end results? Yes, I was. Was the customer? Yes, she was. Would I do this again in a hurry? No, I wouldn't. This took far longer than I wanted it to take. It was just very time consuming. All the waiting around for things to dry, the issues that I had with the lacquer. I've done it. I'm glad I did it. I like the end results, but I'm in no rush to do it again. So I hope you found this useful. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more videos like this. Again, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.